Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel is Finding Value, and if you're looking for undervalued investment opportunities, click subscribe, give me the thumbs up button if you like the content. We're going to go over technical analysis, and we'll jump right into it. Again, this is only financial education. It is not financial advice. You guys are going to have to do your own due diligence. I am not responsible for your losses, only for your gains. Just kidding. So let's jump in here and look at uranium technical analysis. So here's URNM. We're going to start with the ETF, give us an overall picture. We've got this kind of uptrend line that's coming through. It is kind of hanging out just below the line. The one good thing here is that we are contracting. The opening and closing price is starting to contract down, which hopefully means that the buyers are starting to equal the sellers and that we're about to see a reversal. Now, we haven't seen the reversal yet. Therefore, we should be waiting for a reversal day. We're looking for something to show us that there's a bottom. We're looking for buyers to step in. And this is basically my approach to a pullback, is I let the pullback exhaust itself. I look for contraction in the candlesticks. And then eventually what I look for is a turning point candlestick. A hammer pattern. The hammer pattern can kind of look like this. A large up day like this is nice, big, juicy up day with a big candlestick body. And then I buy into that strength on that day, and then I ride it higher. And I'll usually buy it at the end of that day or somewhere close so it doesn't reverse on you. But that's kind of how I play it. And sometimes it's not, the first day if we've got lots of momentum coming back. This isn't too much momentum. But if it's a lot of momentum, I kind of wait and then I buy into a bunch of strength. So here's CCJ. We have broken its uptrend line. We could see further sideways consolidation action. I'm still looking for the buyers to step in. They have not stepped in yet. So what I do is I sit on my hands and I don't do anything. I just wait. NextGen also broke its uptrend line to the downside. And now we just wait. Wait for the consolidation to happen. UU looks like it's trying to break its, break down out of its support line here. And this could float down a little bit more before we hit all this support in here. Here's URG. It is also pulling back just like everything else, and you can see where the support line, a weak support line is. Here's Denison Mines, another one that's kind of in an active pullback mode, and we're coming up to its support line. Uranium Royalty Corporation, we've got a bearish engulfing here. We got nice big up days, small little pullback. It looks like it's kind of consolidating. Is this a shoulder developing where we come all the way kind of back down? If it is, I would love it. So I could buy some of it down here if it were to ever go back down there. And keep in mind that we have inflation. We've got the backdrop of market conditions are behind us. And the uranium to gold ratio is incredibly cheap. So I still think everything's game on. We're just in a normal pullback. Here's baseload energy. We broke out of this downtrend. Sometimes it likes to go sideways for a while. We had a nice kind of large down day today if it ended there. And we could see it go down a little bit more before heading higher. And I think baseload is going to start doing some drilling at some point here shortly on their Catharsis project. I read that in the news. Here's Sky Harbor. Again, we broke out of this uptrend. We came back with a lot of momentum. Now we're pulling back up here, and I still think that we could potentially come back and test this bottom again. So patience, if you guys like Sky Harbor. Canalaska, it's the same thing. There's a lot of momentum behind this. These are big candlesticks, big volume. We came back up, and I think it's going to bounce around sideways here before heading higher. Global Atomic, more downside because we got large down day. It looked pretty good coming here. We had a nice big up day and these small little pullback days. That's usually a sign that we want to hold and go higher, but it didn't. Sellers are still there, and sellers are winning out in the short term. Bannerman could be pulling back to its trend line here. We do have a little bit of selling pressure. 12 cents is a real strong support, though. Goviax is playing with its support line. It's hanging on, but it could break down here. Deep yellow, still holding on. We got nice small contracted days. Buyers equal to sellers, not too bad. And then we got Forces Metals. I do like these two big up days on big volume. We were contracting down. If this thing ends kind of with a larger candlestick, we could see lower prices here if the entire sector continues to sell off. Fission looks a lot better than a lot of the other companies. We squeezed up, broke to the downside. Nice big hammer pattern up, bullish engulfing. Usually, I mean, there's buyers here. They're showing patterns. They're flipping us patterns. But the entire sector is under pressure being sold off. So I don't know which way this is necessarily going to go for Fission itself. Centrus has got a little bit of selling pressure over here. It could break back down a little bit, but it's holding. We've got Lightbridge, broke to the upside. I still think there's a little bit more downside in this with this momentum coming down, the size of these candlesticks, and how this bounced back up and contracted up right where the buyers equal the sellers. I see this over and over. Usually this is going to roll back down a little bit more. Here is Encore Energy. We still have some sellers in here. Hopefully today we put in a nice big tail on it. That would at least mean that there's some sellers out there trying to drive the momentum back up. Again, I own these things and I'm not doing anything with them. Standard Uranium, false breakout to the downside, popped higher, and we're kind of doing this back test, retest in here, so that's good. Boss Energy's feeling the selling pressure as well. It's kind of selling off a little bit. International Consolidated Uranium. Is that a shoulder developing? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But we did break out to the downside of this uptrend, which means we've got probably some selling pressure ahead of us if the sector continues to sell off. So that's what I've got for uranium. Again, we're still in pullback mode. I have seen very little evidence of buyers stepping in here, pushing things higher. A couple of companies, maybe that's about it. So I'm being patient, watching the charts, looking for buyers. When the buyers step in and we start seeing strength and things starting to turn around, then I would buy into that strength. That's what I would do. But things are contracting down. The opening and closing prices are starting to equal each other out. That's the first step. The buyers are starting to equal the sellers. The momentum is getting worked off to the downside, and we could see buyers step in at any second. But I'm waiting for that confirmation. I'm waiting for something to show me that the buyers say, hey, look, we're here. We mean business. We threw a bullish, piercing, bullish engulfing, a hammer pattern, something saying that they're there and that we're going to drive it higher here soon. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.